Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today and Tarot. My name is Mel Rose. This is the Tarot portion and the second half of my daily astrology vlog, which you can check out on my other channel, Astrology Today with Mel Rose. Over there, you'll find a description of the day's astrology as I've spelled it out here. Here, I will discuss the tarot card that sits on the side of the page, and then I will play another card that, in the context of the day's astrology, may just give us something more to think about. So let's get into it. The card that currently sits on the side of the page here is the Five of Swords, and it's here because it corresponds in astrology with the first 10 days or the first decan of the sun's transit here in the land of Aquarius. Aquarius is an air sign. Swords in Tarot are air element symbolism, and air element symbolism has to do with the intellect and the rationale, those things we can conceive of, those things we think, those things we plan, and sort of how we communicate, how we use our plans and words. And especially in Tarot, you know, we think in terms of how we use our plans and words. You know, with the sword of truth, it's a double-edged sword. It cuts both ways, so you can use it to actually do harm or to help, right? And so we come to the Five of Swords, and we see this person who, you know, perhaps isn't using their swords for the best possible purposes, you know, and that doesn't mean to think that doesn't mean they don't feel like they are fighting for what is right. In fact, they seem probably pretty certain of themselves that they're doing what's right. But it also comes across as somebody who can't be competed with at all, right? And if you think of those swords in terms of thoughts, plans, and communications, you've got somebody, you know, sort of holding on to all the thoughts, plans, and communications, and having sort of deprived the people around them of their thoughts, plans, and communications, okay? So this speaks to a certain unbridled ambition, okay? A desire to win at all costs, especially when it comes to conversations and planning and collaboration, okay? And, you know, sometimes we can be a little bit sneaky. You know, we can do a sneak attack on somebody where they don't think we're going to come and say something to them in a certain way, and then we do, and we catch them off guard, and it sort of disables their ability to respond, right? Or sometimes, you know, we wait for somebody to try to collaborate with us or try to share ideas with us, and then we have a way of shutting them down because we think we know better, or we know better, and so nobody else's ideas or questions or plans are even, you know, sort of valid to be put to the test, right? And it feels nice to be able to win every argument. It feels good to be able to come out on top in every conversation. But, you know, these victories come with a subtle consequence that you might not recognize right away, because by eliminating those people we perceive as competing with us on the rational and intellectual level, we actually kind of isolate ourselves, and then later on we're looking around for people to collaborate with. Well, nobody wants to play with that sore winner, right? So, you know, then you've got to go it alone. Then you've got to become the expert about all of the things, even the things that you may not have thought you would have to be an expert about. So just keep that in mind. If you're the winning at all costs kind of person, then you probably wind up doing a lot of stuff on your own, because people don't really want to collaborate all the time with somebody who's not good at sharing in terms of the ideas and the plans and the work, okay? And with that said, we got the Ace of Wands, second day in a row. Oh, this is like my card, guys. This is the card that comes up. It's come up 2 days in a row, so I think it's probably going to come up again soon, probably. So the Ace of Wands is your big thumbs up. It's your big yes. It's your big go ahead. It advises you that if some opportunity arises, Wands is fire element symbolism. This is about our passion, our drive, things we feel enthusiastic or restless to take care of. It's these kind of feelings that spur us into motion, want to make us want to take action and get going, make progress, right? So, you know, the Ace of Wands, it really just represents, you know, like hey, if you have an opportunity that inspires you, that sparks your drive, that makes you restless to go take care of something, to get something done, that sets you in motion and gives you some sort of goal to achieve, and you feel excited about that, you feel enthusiastic about that, grab that baton and run with it. Okay, that is your cue. That is your cue to spring into action. Okay, when you see that golden opportunity, when you see that passion or drive come up with an opportunity to act on it, you just grab it and you run with it. Okay, and I love that vibe. I love the Ace of Wands vibe. It's very much you know, I'm an Aries sun sign, so it's very much my kind of vibe. It's appropriate that it's on Tuesday, which is ruled by Mars, which rules Aries. It's all about initiative, and it's all about you know, sort of the will to act, our you know, the restlessness that exists within us to make achievements and to get things done. So yes, to the Ace of Wands, because who can say no when it comes up again and again and again? So where do we see this on the page? Well, I have mentioned that the Sun is trine to Mars and that Jupiter is cooperating with both of those planets. Okay, so this is like a very auspicious vibe. It's very easy energy for us to take action, especially when it comes to collaboration, when it comes to communication and planning, to take those kinds of actions on the work that we're trying to do in the world, on the things that we're ambitious to complete, on the ways that we're trying to help out in the world. Okay, this is just a really very positive vibe that says, yes, you can go for it. You can do whatever it is. You can you can get work done on that thing that you're passionate about in the world, right? You can get work done on that sense of on that stuff that gives you a sense of purpose in life. So that's great. And then Jupiter sextile to both says, yeah, your good fortune is cooperating with you. And actually, when you take action on those things that you're passionate about, on those things that you want to achieve, on the work you're doing in the world, you know, Jupiter's here to back you up and say, good things might come your way as a result of that. You might be able to see yourself in the context of you know, doing and having bigger, better things for yourself. So that's very positive. Where else might I see this on the page today? We see Jupiter and Chiron in Aries, and they are almost conjunct. They are within 10 degrees of each other, so they are within 10 points of each other, so they are actually essentially conjunct, but Jupiter is going to catch up to Chiron eventually, and they will be conjunct. So this conjunction talks about your good fortune. Once again, Jupiter in Aries. Jupiter in Aries says your good fortune comes to you when you take action, right? Which is what this whole minor triangle is about, that whole Sun trine Mars with Jupiter sextile to both. It says, it really literally just says, you know, your life expands, your experience expands, you become bigger and better and more than you thought you could be when you take action toward your goals, right? Toward those bigger, better things you'd like to be. And Chiron in Aries, you know, Chiron is the wounded healer. So Chiron is always thinking about how we can solve our problems, how we can heal our wounds. And Chiron in Aries, those are sort of wounds of the wounds of a personal nature that came to us from a social nature. So these are social wounds. It's like times that we got embarrassed, times we felt left out or somehow ostracized, times we felt like everybody was laughing at us, you know, those kinds of things that can come up in terms of, you know, public embarrassment or shame, which, you know, it's sad that those things happen, but they happen to a lot of us. I'm sure everybody has some embarrassing stories to tell. And when you have an embarrassing story to tell, or you have a story to tell about, you know, how you were mistreated or you know, misregarded in public, you know, often there's a wound that came with that. There's a like an, oh, no, I don't do that anymore, right? We've sort of built a little box. We've compartmentalized that thing we did, and we said, okay, anything like that at all, we don't do that anymore because of this one time that we got wounded by the social sphere around us. So Chiron in Aries is there to help us realize what we can heal in terms of those kinds of wounds. It's there to really think about ourself in connection with the larger scope of people, with the larger scope of culture and society, and to allow us to sort of let go of things, let go of these ideas and limitations that we've placed on ourselves as a result of these embarrassing or upsetting things that we have encountered. And you know, it's not fun work, and definitely you might get through life without doing it, but without working to resolve those issues, we do kind of get ourselves stuck into a certain way of being. And if you build a box around it, if you compartmentalize, you know, every action you ever made that had a negative outcome, and you say never again, never again, never again, you're really going to wind up being a person who sort of lives in one room and eats one kind of food and, you know, only ever watches CSI. And not that there's really anything wrong with that, but to me that sounds like like not a very fulfilling life. Okay. Personally, I want more from my life than that. So Jupiter and Chiron together saying, you know, think about how you can heal. Think about what you can let go in terms of these old wounds, these old embarrassments or you know, mistreatments. And, you know, think about how letting go of those things can help you expand your life, expand your sense of what you can be, do, and have. You know, think about how, you know, allowing yourself to heal from an old social wound might help you, you know, open up to learning more, or might help you open up to being able to travel around more in life and in the world, or it might help you even, you know, have a way to do bigger business, to create more security and stability for yourself. Okay, but simply by grabbing the baton when you catch an idea or an inspiration or an opportunity that is inspiring. Okay. Yeah, I hope that made some sense. We definitely have to work on these old social wounds. We definitely have to, as we age, as we mature, you know, not allow ourselves to get stuck on things that happened when we were younger that don't really have anything to do with who we are as people now. And by doing that, we do experience a great deal of growth and personal expansion. And personal expansion, my friends, is the name of the game, especially right now, because when we grab those opportunities, when we run with them, when we take action, we are blessed. Okay, we are blessed with growth, and we are blessed with bigger, better opportunities. We are blessed with really good fortune. Taken together with the Five of Swords. So, you know, what I said about this yesterday was like, whether you're the person who is who is, you know, the sort of undefeated champion no matter what, you know, and you have an inspiration, you can go for it, but you might not be able to go for it with collaborators, right? You're going to have to go it alone. And some people thrive on going it alone. Some people prefer to go it alone. Some people don't mind having to become the sort of expert on everything that has to do with what it is that you're doing in the world. Others of us, most of us, I think, prefer to collaborate. And so, you know, as for those people, if you showed up for somebody and tried to collaborate with them and they shut you down, then that's not a part of your collaborative team. And you can, you know, link up with the other people who are in a more collaborative goal, and you can still grab the baton and run with it, okay? Whatever it is your goal is, whatever it is your passion is, your drive is, it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing, okay? It doesn't matter if this person over here is doing everything by himself and, you know, and winning all the arguments as well at the same time. We don't have to live up to that standard of being. We don't have to try to be, you know, the one that wins every battle. We don't have to try to be the person with so many good ideas that they can't possibly consider collaboration from other people. In fact, when we collaborate, you know, when we honor the input of other people, when we allow people to add their interest and their concern to our plans, those plans expand, they get bigger, they get better, they represent more people, and they probably in the end will benefit more people, right? So, you know, if yours is to collaborate, if that's your idea, if you don't want to have to be the expert on everything that has to do with your passion, if you just want to do this one thing or this one or two things that have to do with pushing forward your goal for collective security, right? Where Sun in Aquarius, collective security, you know, collaboration is where it's at. You know, you just find other people whose skills and talents and desires and passions sort of complement yours rather than matching yours. They complement yours, so you can do your part, they can do their part, and the goal gets pushed forward, right? So collaborate, grab the baton anyway, run with it. Don't try to compare yourself to somebody who is doing all of this on their own. And if you're doing it all on your own, don't try to compare yourself to somebody who collaborates unless you just get to a point where you're like, I need help, I can't do this on my own. Then it might be a good time to sort of look at yourself, look at the way you have been sort of trying to carry everything, and notice there are people around you who would like to help you carry that weight too. And, you know, begin to become less of a winner and more of a collaborator. And in the end, when that happens, we all win. Okay, I think that's what I have to say about it today, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate your presence here. My name is Mel Rose, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today and Tarot.